Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Tim. This is Sonoma Valley Live. Thanks for joining us. And we're so excited. We've got two special guests. We're talking wine. We're talking beer. We're talking football. We're talking cheese curds. We're just talking about it. While we get into it, first I introduce Sheana Davis with the Epicurean Connection, Cheesemaker, chef. Sheana, how are you doing?
Excellent. Even better today, knowing that we have cheese, wine, and fun.
Yeah, this will be a good time. This will be a very good time. Next to Shauna's left, we have Tony Moll. Hey, Tony, how are you doing?
How are we doing?
Good. Tony, you are, let's see, you're a Sonoma native. You probably best known for playing football for Sonoma Valley High School. Go Dragons. Wait, is that it? No.
I'd say I'm best known for Three Fat Guys Winery, but yeah.
Right, there we go. For Three Fat Guys Winery, which is just south of the Sonoma Plaza. And you also played football for the Green Bay Packers.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So I do want to welcome everybody who is checking in from Wisconsin. I know it says welcome everyone. I translated this into Wisconsinese. Hey there, how y'all doing? How you guys? Okay, so we're going to talk things like football. We're going to talk food. The reason for this is because this weekend, for like the 20 millionth time, the Packers and the Niners are meeting in a playoff, right? Is it like 13 times, 10 times, 12 times? I don't know.
Not enough.
Not enough. It's always a good game. And what's cool though is that there's a good tradition between the two places for food and for drinking and toasting and like conviviality or whatever we want to call it. So with that, I want to make sure people can comment. They can say hello, and we can put those comments on the feed if you like. So please just comment, say hello, ask Tony a question, ask Sheana a question. This is streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Whoa. Wow, I hope. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Take a sip of beer.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. Tony, what are you drinking? What do you got?
I got one of our special wines that we make. It's our red blend that's called the Lineman, which is a very special. That's me right there. That was me. Oh, there we go. Yep.
It looks just like you. Yeah, we can't see it.
Yeah. It's like shaking knees. Okay. My knees were always shaking. I was always scared.
Were you really? Was that because you're so nervous? You're like,
not at all.
Bunch of guys are going to jump on me.
So as you like to describe, when you get into those type of situations in a football game, you want to be the hammer, not the nail. I was the hammer.
Oh, you were the. Is that what you're telling us? I like it. All right, so the Lineman, obviously not named for PG&E, but for football. But if someone wants to drink it in honor of a lineman or line person, it's good stuff. That's a red blend. All right, so you're drinking that. Sheana, what are you drinking?
I am drinking our rosé.
Okay.
The other way, and it's
I like it.
It's made by our good friends Ned Hill and Mike Cox at La Prenda.
Okay.
Can't get better than that. Except Tony's.
Right, of course. Well, it's funny because La Prenda has a new tasting room, and it's only about a mile or so away from Tony's tasting room. So it's kind of, you're all nearby. And if people want to come visit at sonomavalley.com, it's easy to find all these sort of places. You can go to La Prenda and get the rosé. You can go see Three Fat Guys wines right down the street. And you can go around the corner and zip around the other side of town and go visit you, right, Sheana, over there at 8th Street East. So,
if I was going to do the route, I would go to La Prenda, then I'd go get a red grape pizza, have a glass of Tony's wine.
Okay.
Just to put it out there.
Got it. It's all there. All right. Well, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to open up this. I've got, because I thought I'd support the Sonoma Springs Brewing Company.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So it's a West Coast IPA. So we're going to be talking about the difference. But what I decided to do, in the interest of keeping it honest and friendly and stuff like that, I'm going to put it in this beer cozy that I got from my friends. Hold on here. See if I can get it without making a mess. This is always a challenge.
Now we know you're from Wisconsin if you have your own koozies.
Yeah, check it out. It's Discover Green Bay. Look at that.
There it is. Yeah, look at that.
All right, let's start talking about football's happening this week. I want to talk about what are kind of foods that we can have for the football game. What are some foods that are like California football foods, right? And maybe people here grow up and talk about. And then what are some that are Wisconsin football foods? And what are the difference and ultimately what's better? Because I want you guys to have an opinion, Sheana, Tony. So, which one do you want to talk about?
Fried cheese curds in Wisconsin pretty much take this week.
Really? Fried cheese curds? That's I got some Spring Hill here ones. Tony, you got some cheese curds there too, don't you?
I do. I actually we have amazing club members that always like to bring in foods and drinks from Wisconsin for me to continue to consume, and so that was one of them. So yeah, so we're almost through the bag. Obviously it's pretty darn good. I love cheese curds.
So Sheana, when you say fried cheese curds, am I taking the cheese curds and am I dipping them in batter and then frying them, or what am I doing?
You would dip it in a batter of a form, actually we use the, you guys can both make fun of me, but we use the Jiffy cornbread mix.
Really?
A little box of cornbread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We add some milk and cream to it, and it makes the best batter for fried cheese curds. So, and my COVID cooking culinary addition to my kitchen was an air fryer, and I admit I should probably go to recovery for the air fryers. I tried to cook everything in the air fryer, but it makes the best fried cheese curds. And no matter how many I make, as fast as I can make them, takes 6 minutes, Tony.
That's it. I know.
As fast as I can make them, Ben will stand right next to me and eat them.
All right.
We become a fan of the air fryer at the house. That's for sure.
You?
Oh yeah.
That's okay.
It's an amazing tool.
Is it not dripping stuff down onto the coils or something, or what do? You put it in a little basket and then it works. Wow.
Ours is so easy to clean. It takes easier than to clean the frying pan.
Right.
You know what? If we did this right, guys, we could turn this into a Ronco rotisserie commercial real quickly, right? Set it and forget it. That's the way to do it. All right. So you like deep fried cheese curds. Tony, you lived in Green Bay, or I'm assuming around Green Bay. How long were you there for?
So I was drafted to the Packers in 2006, and then I played there for 4 seasons, and then 2009 made my way by trade over to Baltimore. But before that, had one heck of a time in Green Bay and learned a lot of new stuff, which we still use to this day. I mean, it's one of my favorite things. If you ever get a chance to go to Lambeau Field, you got to do it. If you're on the fence and for some reason you might still have the ability to get a flight, it's worth the trip to go to this game, or wait till next year or after that. But you walk through on your way to the stadium, or if you drive there, you get to park on people's lawns outside the stadium. It's unbelievable, right?
This is true. Shut up. People park on their lawns, and you can pay. Yeah. And there's usually high school kids taking the money.
Right, and it's like $10 parking. It's unbelievable.
Right.
And then you start going through where all the tailgaters are, and every single tailgate spot, people have their homemade brats and their homemade beer, and they want you to try it all. And it's like the most amazing hospitality for a visiting fan, and it's pretty cool. And so I've had some amazing brats that have come from the state of Wisconsin that you can't find in a store because it's made in someone's garage. It's unbelievable. And to me, like, as much as a cheese curd and frying it and doing everything, I go straight to brats. And and now it's like doing the Wisconsin brat tub, or you're boiling some beer that you're dropping the brats in. I mean, that's what we do now.
No, that's the best way to have brats. So brats are bratwurst for those who don't know.
Yeah.
German style sausage, usually made from pork and spices, et cetera, et cetera. Shauna, have you ever made sausages? Is that a thing that you do? Or you have? Okay. And the whole joke is don't ask where they come from, just eat them. They're delicious. Yeah, but they boil them in beer, which imparts this great flavor to them. And that's something you don't normally see in California. So I will give 1 point to Wisconsin for Wisconsin won for boiled brats, right? I mean, that's beer boiled.
I'm going to have to agree with Tony. Hands down, the tailgate party and the parking situation at that stadium. With the first time I went with a bunch of cheesemakers, and they had more brats and cheese curds, and it was like, who could bring more cheese curds? And when I saw the kids parking cars on their lawn, I was like, this is the closest thing to Mardi Gras you're going to see outside of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Teenagers taking your money, will park your car here because we'll keep an eye on it. And because they're from Wisconsin, they genuinely meant it. Like, your car is safer in their front yard than it is in the parking lot.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And you're probably closer to your car, actually, because the funny thing about Lambeau, it's like shoehorned into a residential field.
Yeah.
It's like boom, there's like a house across the street, and then you walk 2 blocks away, you don't even know where Lambeau is, in the sense that it just looks like houses and normal, small little houses. So All right, so we've already said we got beer and brats, we got fried cheese curds. Is anyone gonna like defend any California football foods? Is anyone?
So
Like,
I don't even know if there is one.
What? Come on, what'd you eat? Shauna, give us California football food.
So every year during a 49er game, and I kind of inherited this from my husband because he talked about his mom used to always make a 49er chili. And so I was like, what is a 49er chili? And of course, Ben doesn't have the recipe or what is it? He's like, well, it had lots of tomatoes in it and ground beef. And like, he never paid attention, but his mom would make a pot of chili for him and his dad to watch the game with Larry Murphy. And then she would leave and go to the museums. So I would ask Ben, and I've asked Larry Murphy, and so I've come up with my best version of a 49er chili. And I have to say, like, here's with the owner, John York of the 49ers, and I texted him today and said, is there a food that represents the 49ers? And he was trying to give me the whole story about all the different foods they have. And I'm like, but I want one, like cheese curds. Like, and he said it's probably hot dogs. Like,
just plain old hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Well, I wonder, like, when they used to play at Kezar Stadium.
You might be right on that because that's what everybody eats at the football game.
It is. Well, it's funny because, California food isn't a lot, salads and fresh seafood and stuff. Like, nobody's mowing down on a Dungeness crab at whatever Santa Clara Park is, or whatever, right? We're not doing that. So maybe we don't have that same kind of culture of food that you eat with your hand with a beer in the other hand while you're wearing a large parka outdoors with 60,000 people.
I used to have this catering client. Tony will probably remember the Price Pump that used to be on 8th East. So they used to hire us to go down on their bus. Imagine the debauchery with all of those guys and gals. And we would put a barbecue under the bus, like where you put your suitcases.
Oh, right.
And then we would set up a barbecue. And he probably, I think, they had the best tailgating parties ever. And we made chili, but we grilled hot dogs and served these chili dogs in a sourdough bowl. And
that's what I was going to bring up.
That's probably what I would say, what I would think of is a 49er, but I've never seen it in a restaurant and I've never seen it.
Right.
And you didn't get silverware. We gave you a bowl. It had a couple hot dogs in it with a scoop of chili over the top. And then onions and cheddar cheese, and everybody made it, and you ate your chili by tearing your bread off your chili.
Right.
Wait, so you didn't see, you just dip, you get to the bottom. Was it just like messy, massive chili all over your face? And then you just had a long sleeve shirt, so you just sort of like do that, or what'd you do?
Insisted on no silverware. That was like the standing joke because everybody had drank the entire way down to the game. Now they're tailgating and drinking. And I think it was his own internal joke to watch all of his staff eat sourdough bowls of chili with a piece of bread.
With the bread. No, I mean, I was going to bring that up too. It's like, for me, anything that's in San Francisco area for sports, I always think the sourdough bowls.
Right.
And obviously there's multiple things that you can put in it. Like for me, I went straight to spinach dip, which is, like I think to me, every Super Bowl party I've ever had, it's the sourdough bowl with the spinach dip inside of it.
Right. But Tony,
I like the chili one. I might have to steal that.
I see a party coming at your tasting room.
Maybe tomorrow.
So we got a comment here from Pat Carlin, who Pat is a famous radio announcer among many things here in town, and he said back, hey Pat, it is good for Pat to be listening. He says back in Joe Montana days, they called us California wine drinking fans, which is because that's true because you're drinking wine. Joe Montana was from like what, Pittsburgh or something like that, Pennsylvania somewhere, and kind of like this blue collar rustic thing. Then he comes to San Francisco, although they played at Candlestick back then, which. Wow, Candlestick was really. I mean, Candlestick was great in the winter when it was warmest. It was terrible for baseball, but it was still pretty rough down there. But
I think I think.
So I was going to say, yeah, I was invited by the Packers to join them for the game at the beginning of the season down in San Francisco, and they were nice enough to invite me to the game. I got to be in the suite with the president, Mark Murphy, and on the table that's in the middle, there was wine and sushi, a couple other things, but those are the two things that really stuck out. And so maybe for San Francisco, it's wine and sushi. I don't know.
You know what? The sushi burrito, right? The sushi burrito. I think, okay, I'm putting it down there. I'm putting the sushi.
Tony, you had that food truck at your place that made those delicious sushi burritos.
Right.
Oh my God, those were so good.
Right.
Tony, actually, tell us a bit about Three Fat Guys Wines. What's the experience down there? What can people expect when they walk into your palatial, huge chateau down there?
Yes, all 400 square feet of indoor space. But it's all about the backyard, and that's actually where I'm at right now. Let's see if I can pull off of the charger for a second.
Oh, it's kind of.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see if I get out of the way. Let's see.
Yeah.
So it's got this big, cool space back here.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't do it. The iPad's working it for me, but it's a wonderful space that makes it really feel like you're in the backyard, your own backyard. That's kind of like what we're going with. So we have fire pits, with this big tent, obviously you see behind me. So it's a great space that keep it as simple as possible. That's what we always say.
Right.
And our wines, are made to just drink and have a lot of fun.
Okay.
We try to create an awesome atmosphere, great energy, and sometimes that allows us to bring in different food trucks or caterers to be a part of what we're doing on the weekends or special events.
Yeah, I think I've seen Glen Ellen Star down there with their pizza oven too.
We did that. So in the height of COVID in 2020, when restaurants weren't allowed to be open, we reached out to each and every one of them and said, hey, if you want to come down and make money, come set up. And so Glen Ellen Star took advantage of it like many others, and just pumped out pies, and it was great. I mean, I think for a lot of people that are enjoy Glen Ellen Star, it's up in Glen Ellen, and living down here on the south end of Sonoma or on the east side of Sonoma, now all of a sudden you have it close by. It was great. People really enjoyed it. Areas, a crack up to work with.
Right.
And, I wish we can continue to do that. I mean, it was so much fun. But it got to the point where, restaurants started reopening, caterers, started getting more events, and we couldn't keep it consistent enough to keep it rolling. So we went back to our normal ways of just selling wine.
It's hard to compete with the weddings, Tony. So
yeah.
We're trying that during an event, so I might have to come over and do a pop-up.
That's right.
Do it. That's easy.
Shauna, tell us what the Epicurean Connection is. A lot of people don't know that you're not just a restaurant that's open on Fridays and Saturdays. Like, tell us the whole spiel. Where are you and what are you doing there? What's going on?
So we are located on 8th Street East inside the Sonoma Industrial Park, and we have 2 warehouses here. One half, which I'm in today, is our retail side. Okay. And so we sell prepared foods. We make our own jams, tapenades, relishes. We have 2 reach-in cheese cases that we feature local cheeses and Wisconsin cheeses, by the way, Tony, because I'm kind of biased to the Wisconsin cheesemakers.
Yeah, you like that Car Valley stuff. You're big into that stuff.
I am.
No.
And it's all because some of those gentlemen helped me learn how to make cheese, and I'm going to continue to be fiercely loyal to them for teaching me.
Okay.
And so it's carried 25 years later, and because when I wanted to learn how to make cheese, it was too competitive in our own backyard. Mm-hmm. And Bella said, Shauna, pack it up and go to Wisconsin. Those gentlemen will show you how to make cheese. And so I did. And that's how I learned how to make cheese at Car Valley Cheese, Widmer Cheese. I mean, I could just keep naming them. But
so you just up and moved out there for a while to become a cheesemaker. Like, you just showed up and like, hi, I'm here to make cheese. Is that literally what you did?
Pretty close, yeah.
Okay.
And because they're all nice gentlemen and they have families, not one of them would let me stay in a hotel. I stayed at every single one of their houses with them and had family dinners and went to festivals. I mean, and so not only did they teach me how to make cheese, but I learned about the hospitality culture in Wisconsin, which is pretty darn amazing. Wouldn't you say, Tony? I mean,
yeah. So I always joke, somebody that's from Wisconsin because you know their life story in the first 5 minutes of meeting them.
Oh, totally true.
There's actually, that's funny, isn't there there's a phrase for that in Wisconsin called Gemütlichkeit, which is from German, which is sort of this German phrase for let's all hang out and be buddies. And it's a very, I'll put the word up there because I know we all speak German fluently. So here we go. Yeah, so it's like that, like, come on in here, and that it's great. It's a problem if you're trying to leave someone's house because you can never actually leave because they keep following you and talking to you and being very friendly and stuff like that. But it's like it's a little, there is a gentle Midwestern warmth. I want to transition back then to we were talking California food, Wisconsin football foods. Sheana, you made us something. You made us some beer cheese soup, right?
I made a beer cheese soup.
Is this when we can eat it now? Let's talk about it.
Please do eat it now. Tony, you got yours?
Is this my spoon?
It's funny because I asked him if you guys had a spoon. He said you did. So
I couldn't find a spoon for the life of me.
Sheana didn't have any spoons left. All right, Sheana, tell us. You know what? You're a lineman. Just dip your hand in there, like have it fall down your gullet or whatever.
There you go. Just drink it.
Tell me what is this stuff, and like how do I do this? Because it looks good.
So, are you going to post the recipe for our listeners?
I will. I'll put it on our Facebook page, and I'll put it on our website.
So this beer cheese soup is so simple to make. It's basically like beer, potatoes, some vegetables. I puree them, and so I simmer all the vegetables in the beer. Then I add in potatoes to simmer, and then I add in cream, and then I puree it. And from there, I added a little bit of I used Dijon mustard because we're in California, but most recipes call for mustard powder, which I didn't have any. So this recipe's been Californified, if you would. And so it's just totally delicious.
It's good.
And it's so easy. And you can share the recipe with your listeners and viewers.
Okay.
Because
Good.
it's a great soup year round. Mm-hmm. And it's super economical, which is how it was created. And this is like the joke from I called Cheesemaker today, Sid Cook at Carvalho. And he's like, oh, that's what we use our leftover beer and grated cheese and cheese curds that we didn't eat the night before at the party.
Really?
Yeah.
They just put it all together in a big pot. And wait, this is basically California cioppino. This is Wisconsin cioppino, I should say, is beer cheese soup.
Yeah.
But instead of having like mussels and wine and crab, they've got odds and ends of sausage and beer and cheese. It is good.
And if you think about the end of a party on the countertop, you look and there's tons of pieces of cheese. There's cans of open leftover beer, and so it totally makes sense that cheese beer soup came along.
It is good. See, I like it because now
Tony's phenomenal.
Tony, you're like, now you're rethinking, like, shoot, you're going to be caught that you're going to go home and you're like, did you already have dinner? You're like, no. And then they're going to replay the video of you eating.
I gave you gentlemen some cheese to grate on top too.
Oh, even better.
I love it. Or you can just eat the cheese.
You can eat the cheese. I combined some Nicasio Reserve and Valley Forge, who are like two of my favorite local cheesemakers.
What kind of cheese is that? What is Nicasio Reserve?
Nicasio Reserve is like an aged Swiss-style hard cheese. So you can grate it like a Parmesan style.
Okay. And
then the Valley Forge is the Estero Gold, and that has a light wash rind on it, so it's a little softer, semi-soft.
Okay.
It's totally delicious, and I keep holding up with the wrong hand because my screen is backwards. So there's Nicasio.
Okay, and Nicasio's local. That's down in
the town of Nicasio in Marin County.
Marin, sorry.
And then you have Valley Forge, which is in the town of Valley Forge, but that's just west of Petaluma. And they're two of my favorite cheesemakers, and they have really good hospitality skills, both of them.
Okay. Now, if Tony, if someone shows up to Tony's tasting room with this cheese, can they sit there and taste your wine and eat their cheese? Can they do that in the back?
Oh yeah. Keep it as simple as possible. You want to DoorDash food and come hang out. It's just our backyard.
Broadway Market's not that far away. You got a sandwich down there.
Exactly.
Broadway Market sandwich, like that's one of the best treasures in town. So Broadway Market.
Go to Epicurean, grab some cheese, and come on down.
I love it. Sheana, what kind of you sell cheeses there then, and what other items you guys sell, like picnic items, et cetera, et cetera?
We have charcuterie. We have olives. We have our own marinated olives. Then we have a selection of tapenades, fig and olives.
You marinate your own olives?
We buy them and then we add our own spices to them.
Okay. You don't go down.
Sheana, the question I have for you: what beer did you use for this?
Mm-hmm.
I actually used the Sonoma Springs because he said that's what he was going to be drinking.
Good.
And we have a little cooler in the office, if you would, that has beer. I keep beer in there from all the guys in the warehouse area because they like to come by and have a beer.
Oh, nice.
And so it seemed like good hospitality to have beers on hand to share, The guys are all working, and we're still in a pretty industrial area. We have, a welder behind us. We have auto repair guys.
I don't know if you noticed, but we have a little warehouse in the same park. So now that you have beer, I might have to show up more often.
Yeah, Tony's gonna swing by. He's like, I was just checking on racking a couple.
Wait, you have a warehouse in our warehouse, and you haven't been here?
We just moved in.
We bring people together.
30 days.
That's what this is. Oh, he's got like 30 days before he has to show up.
Otherwise, I can knock him.
All right, let me go here. Let's go to here's one. We're going back to Wisconsin stuff. So we have beer cheese soup. This is shown as this is a classic Wisconsin thing. When I first heard about it, I lived out there for about 10 years, and it's a nice place. And my Wisconsin wife just walked in. She's looking at me. She's waiting to hear what I said. So a butter burger is a thing where they take a bun and they put it seems like a half a stick of butter on it, and they put it on the grill, and it's just this delicious buttery burger deliciousness. Right across the street from Lambeau is a place called Kroll's West, right? Kroll's, right? And that's the spot where they serve these amazing butter burgers and all sorts of food like that. So this is a big football thing. And don't forget the chili I was just told from Kroll's. So
yeah.
That's the stuff. But we don't really do butter burgers out here, I guess, do we? Dang it. Guys.
No, we're buttery Chardonnay. That's what we do.
You know what? Thank you. That's the way it is. Butter burger.
There's a ton of butter in the soup. Your soup has you covered with butter.
It's buttery chard. So when you guys are watching football games then this week, and Tony, I'm assuming you're going to watch the game, and Sheana, I assume you might watch there. Are you guys planning on making anything special, or are you just sort of like you plan ahead of time, or you kind of people just run to the fridge and the freezer and like, what do we have? Let's make something.
I usually make a crock pot dish in the morning.
Okay.
And then it kind of gets like you smell it all morning while it's cooking, and so your house now smells. So by the time the game finally gets there,
right,
you're starving for whatever is in the crock pot, which I usually make the chili, the 49er chili, and it's been really fun. That's been our newer tradition. I used to make pulled pork and serve pulled pork sandwiches.
Nice. All right, Tony, what about you guys? What's going on in the Moll household?
For us, we like the big parties. We don't really watch the games by ourselves or just in our own house. And so over the last handful of years, it's always been in a bigger venue. Over the last couple of years, that's switched to here in the tasting room. And so we have the major playoff games, Super Bowl. We're showing it here. And then we get a big enough group. We have this big giant projector screen that we throw out back too. So it's almost like you're there, but you still get to watch the commercials.
So it's like a big inflatable. Now we've been called, and someone's asking, who are we rooting for? Pat Carlin thinks he's asking, are we rooting for Green Bay? And Sheana, I see behind you a bunch of 49ers stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So clearly your heart is with the Niners. Clearly.
I'm honestly a Saints fan, but second would be the 49ers.
All right, fair enough. And Tony, Tony, you grew up here.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony, no one's watching. No one's watching. It's just you.
No
and
one, right?
Nobody knows.
This is the hardest one. Yeah, this is the hardest one for me. I'm completely torn. I'm through and through a 49er faithful, but the Green Bay was a team that committed to me and risked a lot to bring me in, and I'm forever grateful for what they did for me and my family. And still to this day, how they continue to celebrate me and bring me back and let me be a part of fan appreciation stuff. And so I'm also definitely a Packer backer. But I think ultimately for me, and the best way to what I'm hoping for this game is for the refs not to screw it up like they did at the end of the Cowboys game.
Okay, hold on. Remind me, I didn't play football except for street football and stuff. But isn't the ref or the judge supposed to touch the ball before the next down goes off? Or is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, no, I mean the ref should show up at least 8 seconds before the people. Everybody's just sitting there waiting for something to happen.
Well, that guy was huffing down. Did you see that guy? He's running as fast as he can. He's probably 70 years old. He's and then there's this huge lineman in the way. Those guys. He got enormous posteriors. He won't get out of the way. He's pushing it's a get out of the way. Hey man. So I don't know. I mean, obviously that was kind of a crazy ending.
You just don't want it to come down to the refs.
No, you're right.
And that's what I'm getting to. I want such an amazing game, and I'm so sold to either team that I want either team to win, but I want it to be a great game and not some bogus thing that happens at the end of the game or something that just screws it up.
Okay, and no one likes that, like to end on a stupid thing. Hold on, here. I was putting you're doing the classic diplomat thing where it's like,
you did well, Tony.
I'm just happy to be here. Hold on here. This is, yeah. You're like, here we are. Ben, how you doing? Can Ben hear us, or are we in your ears?
Say hi, Ben.
Hey guys.
It's the opposite of whatever you think it is. You left is right.
Oh, okay.
Tony and I keep displaying the wrong direction.
I know, up is down as there. Ben, who are you rooting for in the Packer-Niner game this weekend?
The Niners, of course.
Thank you, Ben. You're
But
good.
if the Niners weren't there, I'd be rooting for the Packers because I have two nephews who are huge Packer fans. So
Okay.
He has two nephews that live in Wisconsin who both their dads work for two cheese factories that I know.
Wait, did you meet him at a cheese factory? How'd you guys meet each other? Farmers only? What's going on? Who are you people?
have fun, guys.
All right, I didn't know he had a cheese history too.
Well, it's actually an honorable new cheese history. Ben's sister, Sarah, but sadly she passed away. But she had two sons that we never got to meet, and we are now in touch with them. And it turns out they live in Wisconsin.
That's awesome.
And when they said, I was like, well, where do your parents work? And one works at Car Valley, one works at Rally Cheese, who I know both the cheesemakers. And it with Tony, it's pretty much what sealed this like awesome relationship with us now, because we can start off by talking Wisconsin cheese and football, because he's on the youngest one is on the high school football team, and lacrosse. Okay. And so actually cheese was a really great bridge for Ben and I to now be lucky enough to have two nephews on our family, and they're awesome kids.
Okay, nice. So that's a good story. But I do think the Farmers Only app or whatever is kind of funny too, but that's probably not true. We didn't talk about drinks as far as California football drinks. You got wine. Tony, you said the lineman is the correct wine to drink at all times with football. Is that the right answer?
You can't go wrong, that's for sure. I think a red blend. Okay. If it's good red blend, it goes with everything.
Okay.
And that's why we have it called the lineman. There's 5 offensive linemen that have to come together to create one solid line for the quarterback to throw the ball or the running back to run the ball.
Oh, nice.
And to me, it represents kind of what you want in wine. It's just if you're going to bring a couple of varietals into play together to create the wine, they got to work together, and that's what we do with this. And it was quickly dubbed the porch pounder because once you open it up, it's hard to put it down.
Okay. And is it a blend of 5 different grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it the classic Bordeaux blend, or what is it?
No, not at all. It took me 5 years to develop. A lot of fun drinking. But when my family came over from Italy about 100 years ago, and they started growing grapes, they grew Zinfandel. So I've always been quite partial to Zin. So it's a Zin-based blend. Then there's also Grenache, Syrah, Merlot, and Charbonneau.
Oh, so, nice! I love Charbonneau.
Yeah, it's a well-rounded blend. A couple fruity styles of wine, a couple jammy styles of wine. It makes it super easy to play with any type of food.
Is this? Let me ask, because a lot of people don't know this.
I'm going to grab one more.
Yeah, go for it. Because and Sheana, you might know, but like not everyone who makes wine grows those grapes. Oftentimes, there's a relationship between the winemaker and the farmer, right? Yeah. So like, I mean, like we joke about Tony's 3 fat guys tasting room. It's not on a palatial estate looking out. It's literally easy to get to on the side of the road. So, Tony, I'm assuming you're not growing those grapes yourselves. You've got a relationship with farmers or people that you're buying from. Is that the case?
100%, 100%. Yeah. So we've sourced grapes from all across the valley, even up into Napa. Okay. But it's relationships. That's right. It's who I am. People that like La Prenda, like San Giacomo, like Robledo. There's other farmers that that we work with that, you know, they do exceptional job and they care so much about their grapes that, you know, it's a pride for us to be able to take their passion and what they do and be able to get their grapes to make our wine. And so that's what we're doing. You know, that world of the estate vineyard and winery, it's changed. It's people, you want expressions from out by the coast. You want it up valley, you know, South Valley, in Carneros, up in the hills, to kind of just truly show the region now. It seems like that's the best way to do it. And, you know, I feel like we've, over the last 10 years, I mean, this is our 16th vintage this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And upcoming, obviously. But, you know, it's taking everything in the pride of the entire area, you know, the Sonoma and Napa wine countries, and be able to show off amazing vineyards. And, you know, I think it's a lot more fun for people that, you know, they might be here for their first time or their 100th time, but to be able to show them different vineyards that you really love and why. That's what people fall in love with. Not just here's my property that that the winery's at.
Right.
And everybody's gone that way.
I think your relationships is a great story. Like, you know, your growers, you have the relationships, and now you can share the conversation with your guests.
Right.
It's the same with our cheeses. We're in a warehouse on 8th Street, and I won't act like I own goats and cows and sheep because I have a dog, and thankfully Ben feeds her twice a day. You know, but it's about the relationships. We make a cheese for us at Laura Chanel, which is just a mile down the road, and they make a cheese for us, and then we have another cheese made in Berkeley for us. And it's the relationship, and it helps their facilities stay busy 7 days a week.
Right.
It helps us because I think a lot like you, Tony. I want to be out in the front marketing and offering tastings and teaching classes. I'm the people person. I don't want to be put in the back. And where the cheesemaker Laura Chanel, you couldn't drag him out to go to a tasting and talk to people. So,
exactly. It's the Epicurean connections that make it special.
Look at that. Tony clearly was in the honors program. Go Dragons.
Can you write that? I might have to use it on my rack card, Tony. That was awesome.
It's the Epicurean connections that make it special. You guys are funny. All right.
Here's the other one I wanted to show you guys. Oh, let's see. Right there.
The champion?
This is our other one.
Okay.
So we have our bubbles lineup. It's called the champion.
Oh, here,
so
I can make you big. Hold
there
on.
You go.
Is that how I do it? No, switch Tony over there.
Something like that.
Let me see.
Right? It's getting heavy.
There you are. Yeah, I see it. We see it. You got it.
There it is, right?
Yep.
So we do Brut and Brut Rosé in our bubbles lineup. It's made in the champagne fashion, but it's Sonoma County based. Okay. Just lovely style of just easy small bubbles. Excuse me. A hint of sweetness, but wonderfully dry still. But you know, as much as we like to pour it, we like to spray it too, and that's why it's called the champion.
Is there like a certain time when people come in and you celebrate? You just decide like you've done something amazing or whatever.
So we do a lot of the sabering here.
Really? Okay.
We used to let anybody do it, but what we realized is that even though
exactly. No.
It doesn't matter how long you educate someone on how to saber. They get too nervous and they'll explode the bottle. The scene, right? Tony, maybe we do a sabering class on one of these because you can show us. We can do it. Yeah, it's so much fun. But now it's for special occasions, so birthdays, anniversaries, engagements. That we'll take the time to let someone saber.
And maybe if the Niners win on Saturday, I mean, I'm not saying it's a special occasion, but for some people,
there you go. There you go.
For Tony, it's going to be a special occasion. Whoever wins, 49ers or the Packers.
We're spraying bubbles.
Because Tony's just happy to be here. I'm just blessed to be here. That's how he handles it.
Hey, Tony, are any of your wines on any local restaurants?
You know, we I got to hold up.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if that was like a sensitive thing. I'm like, Shara, we're losing Tony because he has to pick out all the restaurants.
Unfortunately, fortunately for us, we had to get away from wholesale, and where our little tasting room here was doing extremely well over the last couple of years, and we started realizing we were running out of wine. And then 2020 hit, and we didn't make any wine because the grapes were all destroyed by the smoke. And So we kind of pulled all the way back. And just recently, I just made a trek this week to all the restaurants on the plaza. And next week I'm extending out further and letting everybody know, hey, if you want to get some wine in of ours, I'm happy to let you know.
You're going all the way to 2nd Street, is what you're saying? You're like, I already did First Street.
We are all the way up to Glen Ellen and Kenwood. I mean, there's so many amazing restaurants here in the valley, and they're just special people and hard workers, and and it's after marrying into a restaurant family, and you realize how hard these people work. It's so cool to be able to share my product with them, and in the hopes that they're going to want to put it on their wine list, and when they do, of course, that means we're eating there as much as we can too, and which is half of the fun is just seeing it on the wine list. You're like, all right, there it is. So it's but it's cool, and I'm happy to get back into wholesale because it's half of the battle of being in the industry is you have the retail, but then the wholesale.
So Tony, can people get it shipped to them? Like if they don't live in the area and they're not in a restaurant, how do they get it? We ship
it everywhere. The best way to do it is either from our website, or you can call us at the tasting room if you can't stop by for a glass beforehand. But that's the best way to get it, honestly.
What's the website again?
3fatguyswines.com.
Because that would be. Well, we didn't actually ask you why you call yourselves that. Why are you called 3fatguyswines.com? It's first and foremost, I think when you look at myself, Darren and Jason, we all played on the offensive line together. We were all drafted in 2006 together. Okay. Which is rare for a team to take 3 offensive linemen in the draft, let alone we all started as rookies blocking for Brett Favre. And so it was pretty cool and special. And we wanted to do something to kind of commemorate that. And we quickly realized that we all enjoyed wine, which was crazy being 22, 23 years old, straight out of college. Wow. And we'd always got to dinner and buy wine. And so we came up with the idea of the brand. Mm-hmm. And it was almost instantly the 3 of us looked at each other and said, it's got to be called 3 Fat Guys. And if all 3 of us were on here, we'd all say that we came up with the name. But the honest truth is when you go to Lambeau Field and you get to go on these stadium tours that they do there, every once in a while, if you're lucky enough, the tour will end up winding down through the actual facility itself, and you get to go through the locker room and head on out. I don't know if they still do it or not, but every once in a while you'd see these groups go through, and there's these old men that were around during the Lombardi era that would lead these tours. Mm-hmm. They know all the history. They can answer all the questions. And you'd be down there, and it's okay. Yeah, come on through. And they'd talk about the history in the locker room, some stories that were going on, and then they start pointing out all the important people's lockers, like Brett Favre and different others. And then they go, but don't worry about that side over there. That's just all the fat guys. Oh. And so that's kind of like I believe that's where the nickname started. But in the locker room in Green Bay, all the linemen are called the fat guys. And so we're just 3 fat guys. That's it. Oh man, you're so much more than that to us, though, Tony. So much more than that. I'm telling you. So real quick on that, thanks, guys. Oh, and look at that! If you go to the tasting room, you can actually be greeted by a defensive lineman, or no, it's not greeted. You can be bid adieu, like get the heck out of here. Sheana, on that, if people want to find out how to contact you and learn more about your classes, because you do teach classes on how to make cheese and how to cook, and you have Friday people stop by. How do people find more information about your business?
So we have a website, the Epicurean Connection, EPICUREAN, connection.com. Mm-hmm. And on the website, it has different pages, our retail shop, our catering, and then we have classes, and we have a whole calendar. Mm-hmm. We just added classes on Fridays. So now we have classes on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay. And hands-on cheese making classes. And luckily our warehouse is a very large warehouse, so we limited it to 12 guests at a time. So every group that registers, they have their own table.
And the big door opens up, like the whole wall opens up. Yep. Cool. And then
And
if Tony shows up, you'll give him beer, evidently.
Of course, I'll show Tony where the beer fridge is.
He just walks right in.
Except for Tony's going to want to know where the wine cellar is. So
Yeah,
I'll let you decide.
I saw that. I found it when it's I know where it is. You showed me. That was
Well,
by wine cellar. We need wine door because it's like we don't. Yeah, that's the way it is.
You know what? What's actually really cool is when I first really started getting into wine and trying to learn, wine, everything that behind it. I had this really amazing time that I don't know. It was the Dell'Sentino Enoteca had started, Enoteca Dell'Sentino.
Mm-hmm.
And every Tuesday, the wine sellers would come in from all over the world to sell wine. Mm-hmm. And there was this amazing group of people that would meet there and help grade the wines to see which ones would come in. And Ben was a part of that for a very long time. And so when I was back home in the off season, I'm always looking for a good time and looking for something to how to learn. And I stumbled upon this, and knowing the Dell'Sentinas and the slowly but surely, I was invited to be a part of this panel, and I'm sure my ratings of the wines and my comments, they held no weight at all in the buying process, but it was so much fun to be a part of that, and I learned a lot,
right,
about buying on the wholesale side, which really helped set us up as we got started and started growing. And so, for myself and, Ben is one up there that's one of the people that helped me learn and improve my understanding of wine. Ben
is, even before we were together as a couple, he always wants to educate. That's just, it's in his blood. And when I had my I call the old, 3 times old cheese shop on Highway 12, anytime I got a new staff member, he would come in as a customer, like I'm here to buy cheese. And he would show them how to open a bottle of wine properly. He would give them a really good wine opener and be like, don't ever fall for anything else. And when we opened up our cafe, that was about when we just started dating. And he did a training to the whole staff on how to open wine. And it was so much fun. And you could see his passion. And to this day, he still has young kids, young winemakers who come in, and I swear through osmosis, they just want to pet him like a tabby cat, absorb all of his information. And he'll tell them anything. And he loves it. And it's so much fun to watch.
He's a really good part of the classes. When you guys do the classes, it's good to have the way you approach and you guys work off each other. Yeah. Hey guys, I want to wrap it up here for a quick second. It's been about 45 minutes. The time does go fast when you're having beer cheese soup. But I want to thank everybody. People, you still got a few more seconds. Put in your comments or questions for Tony Moll, former Sonoma Valley high school standout football player, and with the Green Bay Packers. You did go to Sonoma Valley, right? You weren't like a Siena kid. Did I mess that up? I'm so sorry.
There's only one high school in Sonoma, and I went to Sonoma.
Fair enough. And then Tony Moll's with Three Fat Guys Wines, and then Sheana Davis with Epicurean Connection, Cheesemaker, and also cooking classer and chef and wonderful person. Guys, let me ask you, do you have any predictions for the game this week? Because that way, we can come back later and see how good you are at this. And you don't have to, but Tony, you want to make a prediction?
All right, I'm gonna bring something up that I don't know if anybody's really thinking about this. The 49ers have played exceptionally well against the Packers in the playoffs for a very long time. And so that to me is kind of, if I was to put money on the game, which I'm not going to, I would hold a lot of weight. And I think something we gotta keep in mind, especially the last time they went to Green Bay and played in the freezing cold. Yep. The 49ers were victorious in the playoffs. So I don't know. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, but I have a feeling that my dear friend Aaron Rodgers is going to pull it off.
The boy
He's going to do another fourth quarter upset. Just some kids from the sticks of Northern California.
just a boy from a small town. All right, so Aaron Rodgers will surprise us all. It's currently 15 degrees in Green Bay, and it's just horrible. So it's going to be cold. Sheana, what do you think? What's going to happen?
Well, I have to agree with Tony on the fourth quarter. So I am always told to leave the room on the fourth quarter because I chose it.
Oh, you're bad luck? Yeah.
Well, because I'm a Saints fan,
Right.
and if the Saints are going to fall, it's always in the fourth quarter. So
Okay.
that's being said as a true Saints fan. I admit it, it's true.
Right.
And so now for the last 10 years, the fourth quarter, Ben's like out of the room. So I have to go do something else because I will bring the Saints curse.
So I feel like you're hedging. I feel like you're saying you won't know what the result is because you won't be there. Like you're gonna be like you won't know. Okay.
Yeah. I'll bet Tony a glass of wine for a piece of cheese, a harmless bet. I'll take 49ers, you take Green Bay Packers, and either way, we get to have wine and cheese together.
That's it. That's it. And maybe we'll do it here at the tasting room.
That'd be fun. But yeah, that's neither of us can win or lose on that bet.
Perfect.
I love it. And with that, guys, I want to thank everybody for participating. If you need more information about Three Fat Guys Wines, Epicurean Connection, or anything to do in Sonoma Valley, go to sonomavalley.com. We do these live streams every Friday or mostly every Friday. So tune in, ask us questions. And guys, thank you so much for participating. We'll see you all later. Bye.